Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Will the North American hopefuls be still on Cloud9 after they meet Tyloo, a team that have seemed to pick up pace here in Sydney? It's going to be a team that indeed our analysts are all too familiar with. Once again, introducing them, myself, Machine, joined by Chatterbunch Birchall, and I don't know Ian's last name.
Turner.
Tina Turner, mate.
Oh yes, we did Tina Turner, that's right. We do have Sniper joining us as well as Sponge. Sorry, I've said his name about 9,000 times. I'm just still getting to grips with the whole combination. I've just about got Paunovic right now for Yanko, so I've got you know,
makes it
Ian
hard,
Turner. That's
he?
nice and easy.
That's
I can
an
do
easy
that
one,
one.
dude.
That's easy. I can do that in my sleep. Later. Counter-Strike though. Let's talk about it. Cloud9 versus Tyloo.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about Tyloo's recent result. I think we have to kind of focus on why this is an upper bracket game and why Cloud9 and Tyloo are about to do battle. Chad, why don't you fill us in? SK Gaming.
They're not being themselves, are they? Because right now they're going up against Greyhound. They're on the third map. So I think, you know, we can put that in context of potentially how poor this roster is playing right now. But the fact that Tyloo were able to grab a map off them anyway, and it was on Mirage, the same fashion they did many years ago. People laughed and scoffed. Yanko definitely scoffed at me when I made that that correlation. But look, Tyloo, in terms of this roster, they had Ben Tet going huge in that game, and he is the one star for that team who's been standing out time and time again. And I think he did an interview with HTV.org after that game, and he said that he's now in-game leading as well, which is very impressive from the youngster.
It is actually really impressive to see that they are making more and more transitions. The amount of offline tournaments we see Tyloo at Sniper, and we kind of just talk about it for day one, maybe a little the start of day two, and then we forget that they were at the tournament. I mean, they have expanded to the European circuit, but it hasn't been much of a growth from there.
They've been to the odd DreamHack here or there, you know, and they always made it to the minors for quite a while. So they've got that experience, or at least the core three do, of Mo, DD, and somebody. And so people just kind of I guess overlooked them because they just never really get anywhere. Yeah, they had that win against SK once upon a time, but now they're back again. And I mean, with Ben Tet, who's been carrying like a star despite in-game leading, then you've got Excret, who comes in as looking like a world-class AWPer. It's actually pretty unbelievable. And then to have this run through IEM Sydney as well, just coming off the back of maybe some poor performances from Tyloo. It's pretty surprising.
Surprising, sure, yes. And indeed, we're looking to see if they can do damage here. However, best of three, and we haven't really seen anything from Cloud9 yet. It was, what was that, 16-6 versus Greyhound? That's all we've got to go by.
It's a different wheelhouse now, you know, in a best of three scenario. And I think when you look at Cloud9 and Automatic still playing well, he's kind of continuing to be that carry that Cloud9 need. Going into this matchup, I think the depth is definitely there. And with the veto, I don't think we're going to see anything too unusual.
It looks like they're actually the same for both of these teams in the last 3 months anyway. Look, Tyloo used to really love Cobble. So just like all the Asian CS, that meta is gone. They're going to be forced to vetoing out Dust 2. Train Mirage Cache, something like that. Inferno maybe if it sneaks in. I don't know. It's really a tough one to tell because, I mean, well there you go there. Look at that Cache going away, but Inferno sneaking in. Overpass, that's a bit of a surprise to me. I mean, look, Tyloo play it. We see Tyloo against Greyhounds all the time. It's always a close affair. And then you see Greyhounds fall to Cloud9 in the fashion that they did earlier today. And that's where I'm just going to be not sure what to make of that first match as well.
The interesting thing here is we'll probably see this crop up more throughout the tournament, but just to point out that Tyloo with the first ban floated Dust 2, which has forced Cloud9 into banning. When you're the favorite, we already touched on this today, you don't want to leave it up to that random last map that obviously hasn't been played a lot professionally, especially when you are a Stark favorite, right, in contrast. So them getting rid of that, and them also ending on Mirage, it's a comfortable map for this Cloud9 unit.
It's interesting, it is a game now because of the introduction of Dust 2. You can almost not only get the first ban, you can almost make the choice of which map you're going to play.
Until it bites you in the ass, Alex, and that's when life gets a bit difficult. But I think, you know, if it did go to Dust 2, Tyloo would have been smiling, right? Let's say that they win their map pick, and they'd be really happy that it's a map that is almost even pegging, and then it just who is going to show up or who has come up with the most gimmicky strategy within the last, I guess, 6 days, right?
Yeah, so like if you had the old Cloud9 with Shroud and whatnot, you'd be like, yeah, no worries, Dust 2, let's hit that up. Maybe not so much under an FNS style leadership where, you know, it's a bit more rigid and he wants people to play like to the strategies but for the right reasons. And you come into Dust 2, it's like you can't really ask them to pug very well, can you? And I don't think Skadoodle would work well in that sort of environment either. Whereas Tyloo are just like 9 times out of 10, it seems like they're pugging. Bentet, Excurate, all those guys just be mopping around or roaming around, doing whatever they want, basically. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty comfortable map pool for me, I think.
So Inferno first, that was Tyloo's pick.
Yeah, then Overpass.
Okay.
And then just finishing off on the old Mirage, the
classic.
old Dust 2. Or the, however
new
you want
one.
to look at it.
I think the jet lag, I don't like using that as an excuse for these teams, but to be honest, we all know it's a long way to come, Alex. It's a long way to come to Australia, and a lot of these teams are probably feeling it right now. Cloud9 would be one of them, I think.
Yeah, we are using a bit of an accelerated schedule. I know the players have been waiting around a long time. I saw Tarek and Rush both voicing their frustrations of a 9-hour gap between their two games, but let's not let any excuses get in the way of this Counter-Strike. Tyloo versus Cloud9. Our first map will be Inferno, and you casters are locked and loaded as well. It's the delightful Pansy with a new Twitter handle, and of course Jason Moses O'Toole.
Yeah, sorry about your Twitter handle, Jason.
Yeah, thanks.
Still not going to happen.
Bringing up the important things right here before this winter match.
Well, this is a curious beast, this matchup, isn't it? Because we've been seeing plenty of upsets today. Of course, the final moment, I think, being the headliner, but plenty of games, especially including SK, and their, I guess, downfall as of late to a couple of teams they shouldn't be having issues with have kind of put us in an awkward predicament. These games were meant to be the creme de la creme, the ones that were probably going to go all 3 maps, that were going to be the tough ones, and then we've been left with Tyloo Cloud9. Now, you can't say they don't deserve it. You can't take that away from them. But again, Tyloo Cloud9, what a mismatch. And I'm curious to see how well this plays out. I want to see what Tyloo bring in the best of 3 settings. That, to me, is exciting. That, to me, is where we get to see if these guys can really push the big boys, or we don't. And again, I don't know where Cloud9 are either right now.
Well, listen, I mean, you can think about it in this sense. Tyloo took away that kind of, the revenge battle between Stewie and Cloud9. That would have been so great. So they better perform here. They've got some pressure put on them just by that victory. But I think with Tyloo, at a certain point, we have to kind of say, this is a team that's been around competing at some, not every single event, but they've been at enough of these Tier 1 international events since 2016 that we should start to see them make that next step. More upsets coming out of their camp, more series wins that we haven't gotten out of them. So, Bentet has been a revelation since he's come in. He's been a very, very cool player to kind of watch progress, and we don't see nearly enough of him. And he's going to have a chance here to be able to upset these Cloud9 guys. I think the interesting thing is they made the point, Tyloo, a little bit more of that puggy, scrimmy style, a little bit, it gets disorganized, it gets a bit wild.
Oh yeah, there's mayhem.
That's an area where guys like Tarek, guys like even Skadoodle, like they thrive in them. Like there's very few operators in the world like Skadoodle who can make something out of such a hectic situation inside of a bomb site. So that's gonna be pretty fun to watch, I think.
No, on paper, that theory is very exciting. You've got a lot of puggy players on Cloud9 who've kind of refined that ability. They kind of brought that through to kind of more of that, European beta style where you can actually take down these teams with that methodical, far more thought out pace. But these guys still have that kind of puggy style that you can depend on if you need it, and they can thrive in that environment. So as you said, that's a really nice little matchup to look at.
And FNS himself as a player hasn't been as much of a liability. Like the big criticism for him was like, yeah, they gain in-game leadership. They give more freedom over to Tarek. So right there's 2, net positives for Cloud9, but the big knock was going to be individually, can he stack up enough? Or, the thought was maybe going to be he can't stack up enough to where it's going to be a net negative on this team. And he's proven that to not be true. So FNS has had a great start in this lineup, and then you add in the guys like Automatic and Rush, kind of the constants. We know these guys are deadly and dangerous and smart players. I do think this should be a game where Cloud9 is able to get through with relative ease.
They should.
I say that.
That's
exactly what Nico said about Renegades. It's not gone well.
There is always the possibility that things can go wrong or can change. Just to keep you guys informed at home, if you're wondering what the tech pause is, we're just having a couple of PC restarts, make sure everything's good to go. You don't want that to be an issue down the line once the game's started. Let's get it sorted out now. So again, thank you for chilling with us here. And I think today it's been a slog, but it's been a good one. I think we've seen some very fun matchups.
Love slogs.
I feel like a slug, if that helps. But I mean, it is always nice when you get to see these matchups. It does feel as though it kind of sits very nicely with that IEM brand of you get these crazy upsets coming out. A lot of the top teams getting pushed. It can make the games going forward look quite skewed, but that doesn't take anything away from the results we're seeing in some brilliant games we've been witnessing. And again, Tyloo, not completely new anymore. They don't get that unknown tag. These teams know what they bring. Of course, they don't play them in scrims regularly. They don't play them at every event. It's not like you have that mental kind of, I guess, run through of, we know what these guys do when this happens. We know how these guys like to play this. But again, you've got an idea. It's not a surprise anymore. You're not sitting there going, how we lost this? I mean, if you're SK, sure, you're probably wondering.
You're probably scratching your head a little bit.
Yeah, there's a little bit in that. I'll give you that one. But you can't completely write them off anymore. But best of threes is always normally where this kind of gets trickier, right? It's when that map pool, the depth gets brought into question, and we start wondering, okay, can they actually have that longevity?
It takes away like the one-trick pony aspect,
Yeah.
doesn't it? Like it takes away just being able to just kind of cruise through one map or get a lucky reset or have a big game out of an individual, which, you know, the desk also mentioned. Ben10 had a huge game against SK earlier. Just being able to do that across one map is no longer an option. It has to be a sustained effort through multiple maps, and that is where we've typically seen Tyloo fall short in the past.
I'd like to see a bit more longevity to them. Really would. It'd be nice to see what they can do going forward here. And the more games they get to play against higher caliber teams on a consistent basis, I think that's a fun factor. And obviously Cloud9, the matchup that we, in theory, should have been seeing if you looked at that bracket was meant to be the kind of Stewie matchup, right? It was meant to be the SK Cloud9 game.
It would have been great.
It would have been quite a fun one, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Either way, it's been taken for us. You're getting some classic, some vintage footage of Stewie up there on the monitor with the boys. Skadoodle obviously getting some high fives. He's been an incredible performance, and I think it's kind of funny. I mean, that kind of whole conversation right after, you know, a few events after the major of him stepping down, stepping away, and kind of hanging it up for at least a little bit, went away pretty quickly. I think it's easy to find renewed motivation when you're having lights out, you know, performances week after week after week, which is something Skadoodle hasn't been able to put together since 2015, it feels, in a way, 2016. So it's been a while since we've seen that, you know, consistent effort out of him. So it's obviously very nice, and it's obviously something that the team loves having. And I think, you know, as much criticisms as we levy on Skadoodle in the past, there's, you know, he's one of the guys that pretty much all of his teammates, whether publicly or privately, have always said he's one of the best people to play with.
Yeah.
You know, even regardless of some of his deficiencies, as we've heard sometimes with his communication, but seems to be solving a lot of those issues right now and seems to be playing very, very comfortably.
You can hope in this matchup as well that he gets that good start. I'm not sure if Inferno particularly allows for that, but we'll see.
CT side.
It definitely does. You can allow it on CT. We saw, let alone what Nico could do just in the last map. Oh god, you know, look at those guys. Brilliance. But I want to see what he can do here. And some of his best moments have been on Inferno.
What's always going to be that conversation is, you know, when the conversation on them winning the major was, you know, Skadoodle came into this event and he was being way more assertive and he really wanted to take control of his own game and how he played within our team. And you could see the difference there. So Inferno is a map where you can do that on the CT side as well. You can play towards Banana. You can, you know, take a shot at Banana, rotate towards A. You can take some peeks. So we'll see it. And right off the bat, look at Cloud9. A couple players pushing down mid. It's slow. They're not giving up the game just yet. There's going to be the initial fight on Tarek. He's got one. Rush is taken down in mid, but FNS is still holding ground.
Yeah, this is not a changed factor yet. This is fun from Automatic, though. Continuing the push down second mid, gives over so much information. The issue then becomes when they wrap back up middle. That puts FNS on a big pressure spot, but for now they're not doing that. They're actually still going bananas. This plays so perfectly, herding them in the right direction, assuming that Cloud9 hold their ground. You have two players by B now, both kind of going towards coffins, a bit of an adjustment in position. FNS hot in the heel spots out. One, the call's going to be made. They know what's happening now. Skadoodle taking a bit of a wide fight there, but he's buying time, and that is exactly what they want. The knife in the back should be coming around. FNS, you want to be hitting those shots. You see Automatic kind of holding the cards close to the chest as the bomb goes loose, and Skadoodle, he gets hunted down. Great work from Tyloo. Even though the plan was known, they were surrounded on all fronts, they come out swinging. That's the first big round on the board there.
Yes, that was I mean, Cloud9 had everything they could have possibly wanted. They had the push down mid, they had them trapped in Banana, they had the fast flank as well, and just some missed shots coming down the stretch. Skadoodle trying to play for time, gets caught on a reload. And another quick pause coming out here right after the pistol. Well managed from Tyloo. I mean, that's a confusing situation right when you're executing onto the B bomb site, getting shot from behind as well. Difficult sometimes to manage your attention in that scenario.
Technical balls coming out for Tyloo here. Not sure what the issue is this time. Before I think it was a PC problem. Hopefully that fix up. Maybe it looks like it's maybe a quick fix. We're getting
fist
the
bumps
fist
all
bumps
around,
are out.
yeah.
Ooh, the shake of please, please, not now. We had a good start. You know, let's keep it all-time high.
Don't jinx it.
Exactly. But no, great start for Tyloo. Cloud9, shake it off, I guess, is the main thing here for them. Refocus up, but not how you want this one to begin when you've been given that opportunity, that chance.
See what they're going to invest in the second round as well. See a lot of teams on the CT side starting to go away from that, you know, full buy every single time, sometimes just getting the pistols without armor. Yeah. Cloud9 has not done that at all. They've invested everything. They've got the scout on Skadoodle.
Tell me more, Jason.
Yeah, that's right. As I said, it is super popular. Yeah, so early banana control for Tyloo. There is a stack up here. You can see Skadoodle on the head of FNS just peering over, falls down. Some aggression in A-holes from Cloud9, trying to make sure they can't take it over, force them to attack B, at least initially. And there's Automatic turning away from a flash. It's at the wrong moment because Ben Tet dispatches him. I really got hung up there, didn't I?
It's been a very long day, if you guys haven't noticed. The incredible game we just witnessed, obviously. It was a lot of emotion from everyone watching that one, especially here in Sydney.
I think everyone's so pumped to see Renegades on the stage. Not just Renegades, not just the Australian fans.
It's a good thing for Counter-Strike, I feel, at that point. If you're a fan of CS, you get a little excited.
Cloud9's rotated away from the A-bomb stage. They're just gambling over towards B, hoping they come there, and if not, they'll just take the loss and bring these weapons into the next round. Yeah. So, I mean, this is an interesting time. We can have that kind of jet lag discussion, because I think we're feeling it pretty well aligned with Cloud9 in the sense that they played early today and had a long time off. You and I as well had a couple games earlier and had that sat through that long 4-hour BO3 that we just witnessed in a triple overtime. So Cloud9 having to sit around for multiple hours, that's when the jet lag really sets in, when you just kind of have nothing really to do. So I mean, it's not ideal. Don't be shocked if you see Cloud9 come out to a slow start, which can be dangerous on a map like Inferno if you lose control of the economy and it spirals away from you in these first 5 or 6 rounds. And they'll have to be able to fight through that and really come alive as this map goes the distance.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if that does become a factor down the line. Obviously, not easy to kind of switch yourself back into pace, and there's the discussion of, you don't want to warm up too much. You don't want to be sitting there grinding out the entire time.
Or drink too much coffee or drink too many, energy drinks.
Exactly. It's a hard balance to strike. Hopefully we do get to see them in prime form. They know the value of this game. There's no two ways about it. So Cloud9, of course, absconding away from that round, having to just fall away. They took the gamble stack, went over towards B. Wasn't where it was going to end up. And coming into this one, at least they have that armor. Still got the scout and the CZs, and we know what CZs can do.
Right. I mean, it's a great tactical decision. Still an opportunity to surprise Tyloo. You can see some of the aggression towards A hulls. Tyloo's going to be mindful of that again. You can see the stack towards Banana. Maybe this round they're able to kind of organize something that can get them some trades and put them in position to make something happen. Looking like Banana Control again, going to be the name of the game for Tyloo. Molotov in towards window to protect any kind of peek, but they cannot stop Skadoodle from taking a quick pot shot onto Captain Mo, bringing him down to 28, and here's a stack. Here's that element of danger. Rush is able to do it. Finds that opening kill onto somebody.
Yeah, and you can look at the springboard effect coming out from Tyloo, trying to quicken the pace towards top middle. Or at least DD is. Where's the rest of the teammates? He's kind of ahead of the curve here. Slowly working their way round towards CT Arch, and they could wrap B still. It depends on how they want to feel this one out. FNS seems unaware for now, but surely that call's going to come in soon. Otherwise, what's going on here? Where's the communication? I'm a little worried that this is going to be a consistent problem if this keeps going forward, because that should have been a call made a long time ago that they lost CT Arch control. No one had info on it. And again, Cloud9 put in the position of, what can we do in this round?
Seems like even the A players didn't know it was coming, because otherwise the response is, I mean, you either have to fight for them as they're wrapping and try and pick them off, or you have to immediately push down mid and get that quick flank towards that B bomb site, and neither of those things went through, not even the communication passed over. So as you said, so Cloud9, I think, just dropping the ball there and getting outplayed. Still, though, a couple players, Tarek and Rush with full armor. They'll want to keep that so they don't reinvest the $1,000 into the next round. Might even be more. We got automatic twins.
Yes, we do have a player dropped out of server. So I can imagine that will be as to why. And I like the observer's name here. Good work. Nice meme.
Fan of Rushley.
Someone has to be.
Got a lot of future pros watching the stream, I think.
We do, yeah. Lots of tips being made. I can imagine maybe a timeout's going to be coming in here just because we did lose that player. I'm going to wait and see. They might have rejoined already. There it is, match pause. So that might take a second or two. And yeah, so again, this could be the slow beginning for Cloud9. I doubt they're going to come in super hot here. It's kind of just, getting yourself back in that mentality. Just, all right, we've had that time off. Let's just focus up and bring the game through. That's as simple as it is. They are more than capable of doing so. Cloud9, not strangers to slow starts either. They've had their fair share of very hard starts to games and brought it back well. But Tyloo, this is the perfect chance to keep applying that pressure.
One more other thing we can mention about Cloud9, it's their flank isn't susceptible. And this will be a hit as soon as the smoke goes away.
So far, so good. Automatic with the high flash will pop over if they hear or get any contact. FNS can fall off it. Seems as though that's the case. Here comes the flash, falls off, automatic swings. It's nice, it's good, but actually somehow loses out. And oh, the Molotov too. This B hit was somewhat seemingly like it was going to go Cloud9's way, but no, Tyloo recover well. They've got the bomb to place. That's going to be planted any second now as it is. We're left in a 4v3. Skadoodle, Tarek, and Rush probably baffled that this has happened. They were on the relatively long rotate, the last two players, and it's Tarek who'd have to be the player to get at least one down pretty quick now.
Yeah, they've got to do it fast. No kits on the board and not a lot of utility. You can't just smoke the bomb and pray. Molotov going to force Captain Mo into the open. There's the first. Now they've got to pick up the pace. Another kill for Tarek. They're making this work somehow. Crossfire set up right at the end and using the crouch perfectly one-on-one, and he's not going to be able to get it. Tarek finds the final kill. He's got plenty of time for the defuse as well. Cloud9 somehow making that work in the fourth. Low on utility, low on kits, but finding all the frags.
Yeah, that got a little close for comfort, didn't it? It felt like you saw that combination working out well on B. It felt like, you know, the utility was played well by Cloud9 considering how little they had, but then Tyloo just steamrolled in there. And they still have money to buy up, of course. We might get to see that AWP coming out to play, which is exactly what's come through. So that could be a fun one for Tyloo. T-side AWPing, always the big question mark on that, if that's going to be a maybe working factor here, but I don't know what to expect from these guys. You don't get to see them on a regular enough basis to be able to be like, nah, that's not their thing. So, for now on the other side, I'm just looking at Skadoodle here. Jason?
Love it. Oh, Tarek, don't love that. That is not ideal. FNS is going to be the next one. Ventet with a double entry. He was a monster against SK, and they could use that again here in a free B bomb site. Skadoodle and Rush can't even fight for it.
Oh.
We've seen this shotgun, obviously Oscar's made it pretty popular recently, so...
Look, the thing is, it has places it can be viable. It's when that doesn't work, you can't retake, you can't do much else, right? That's always the case. So, Skadoodle could find somebody here. Somebody well aware now that he's got their attention. Doesn't particularly want it. When that happens, execution, the crocodile snaps. And we'll see the upgrade to the rifle. So, 3v2, obviously, this time around, the CT's not even going to have a little bit of a pop at this one. Tyloo won that out pretty early on. Very, very powerful hit coming through.
Powered by the two entries, and obviously Tarek with utility in his hands getting caught out. That's not great. Cloud9 will have to pull that together. We'll be interested to see what Cloud9 decides to do with these two saved rifles. I think Skadoodle would be able to drop over a UMP or some kind of an SMG after this, or a shotgun. And they could actually force up around these two rifles and make something happen. That'd be a big risk and a big economic investment early on in a situation where it's not looking great. This is beautiful. Yeah, Tarek missing the timing. Maybe not expecting anyone to be that aggressive coming up banana so quickly. FNS wasn't prepared for it either.
No. Maybe obviously surprised caught off. But regardless, Tyloo coming in, looking quite good in this thus far. Early days still, best of 3 territory, of course, once you get to this stage, so it does change the landscape. But the money's looking quite robust for Tyloo. They've been able to stabilize the money for a fair amount. This round would be lovely to add to... Ooh, those nades, that damage. Oh, and Ventet receiving a fair share of that one.
It all helps, doesn't it? You can see Skadoodle didn't drop anything over. They want him to get the AWP as much as possible, so preserving his economy, going for the CZs, full utility, full nade kits on a lot of these players of Cloud9. And with the smokes and flashes, they can stall out. Look at the way they're holding on to all 5 smokes as well. That's really beautiful. Not using any too early. Still 4 on the board, and plenty of time for this op from Tyloo to try and find an opening pick. We see it struggle at times on the T side, but may find some benefit without having to worry about being naded and Molotov into these choke points. Utility being used as DD and somebody apply minimal amounts of pressure towards bracket. Skadoodle's at the corner, he's at the angle, and he's kind of spotting in, so he can be able to tell him, you know, once that smoke clears, he can clear it out pretty quickly. And Tyloo's going to fall back into a hit at this B bomb site, but Automatic's rotating away. This is really, really unfortunate rotation. He's going to be pulled back as Tyloo still haven't pulled the trigger, but the clock is running down.
Yeah, they need to make their minds up here, and they don't have much ground. Tyloo trying to feel it out, maybe. Mo there trying to keep them present. Ventet going forward, spraying through the smoke, just still trying to convince them. That is very convincing. 24 seconds, that is going to sell them everything. It's down to Rush here. He's the one player left towards A. He's going to hear the steps. We can see the return. That's brilliant from him, though. 2 big kills, denies the quick hit, and now the CZ comes in. Tarek barreling forward, but only to be denied. It's down to a 3v2. Bombs planted. Smokes are up. It looks like Tyloo really have a grip on this.
The slimmest of margins, a spray from Bentet through the smoke. That one kill was critical in pulling the rotations away from the A bomb site. Tyloo is going to have this half in the palm of their hands to start things out. A 5-1 lead. No more money for Cloud9 after this, and Skadoodle just has to scramble. But Bentet's on the hunt. He's hungry. We've seen him open up rounds. Now he wants to close it. Zeroing in on this B bomb site. His teammates now starting to rotate over. They have plenty of money to hunt this gun down. Just one AK-47. We've seen it do damage. It's not the highest probability. Skadoodle knows he's being hunted, just being passive, tapping away. That's going to cause Bentet to peek into it, and there's the AK-47. Well played. Triple kill for him on the round. He's got 9,600. Tyloo is flush with cash, and Cloud9 is at the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
Okay, when do we start believing in this, Jason? At what point do we go, all right, this is actually a game. They're not waking up from said jet lag and tiredness and everything else. When do we actually get a little worried? Like, because at the moment, this looks quite worrying. I'm not going to lie to you. Tyloo looks very robust.
I'm not going to lie. I'm usually scared for the CT side team right about now if they've, you know, when they're 6 rounds in and you can see the money is just shattered. It's always such a tough spot. The next round isn't going to be, you know, perfect either. They're still going to be missing some things. So we're looking at maybe 10 rounds before Cloud9 can even get a full buy on the board. Dangerous scenario. Here's the peek, and Bentet, again, we're saying his name a lot. He manages it perfectly. He's playing stellar to start things out, and so is Tyloo. 6-1 lead.
Very dominant performance as well. It's not just him, it's pretty much all of them having good play. Somebody's been quiet, but again, if you're not called upon consistently to deliver, your teammates are doing it, it's not the end of the world. Whereas if you look on the other side, FNS, you kind of wanted a bit more maybe. 0 to 6 is not ideal. You haven't, you've got your assists, but look at this sense as well. It's still just so high, isn't it? But overall, Tyloo, very strong play thus far. We are seeing finally a decent purchase from Cloud9, but again, still lacking that utility. And you speak to certain teams, they'll always tell you, Inferno, you need those Molotovs, especially on the CT side, to even vie for control at this point on Banana. Once you get that, okay, game can change, but right now they're suffering.
I mean, the big thing as well is if you have full utility and full nades for the CT side, you maybe don't fall for that fake in the previous round towards that B bomb site when they had CZs and two rifles. You probably don't cheat a player to rotate over very quickly. You probably don't cheat that second player over to rotate with just one player spotted spraying through the smoke. So when you have the confidence that the Molotovs and the smokes and the flashbangs bring, you can have a little bit more of a standard CT side. At the moment, Cloud9 haven't had that luxury. Nearing the 1 minute mark, 1 smoke and 1 Molotov left for the defense. Tyloo with enough nades and enough utility to really toy with this Cloud9 team.
So last time this was the double fake back to B, essentially. The early pressure, go towards A, fall back towards B. Wondering if they do it again, if it's something they like to run, or if they're just working out their utility. They know that Cloud9 will be starved for it. Right now, they do actually have decent presence towards CT Arch. This could be a play we did see last time that Tarek's position was the one that could have been the swing factor. Deep smoke goes in. Let's see what they do. 30 seconds. They're running that clock very low. Tyloo not scared to run this down. This could be where maybe Tarek can find a bit of room to work. Maybe not. Mo with a big deny. That takes his head off. Player in towards pit and one towards side. That's Skadoodle trying to be that turret. Rush with a very poor connection on that shot. Didn't get it done. And Skadoodle a little late to the party. 15 seconds is plenty. Bomb to be planted. Sight under wraps. And the retake, impossible.
Yeah, this is, you asked when would you start getting scared. Now is the time. Cloud9 looking sluggish, not winning any of these opening duels. Fights that we normally see Cloud9 at least get 1 frag out of. Tarek, I think due to some of the losses over at the B bomb site playing in CT spawn, we did see that earlier as well. Gets punished and not able to stop anything. Automatic's going to stick around and try and take weapons away. It's not the worst idea in the world. Team's going to have to save, and you need to start taking some of this money away from Tyloo for some of the rebuys. The op would be lovely if he could find it. Tyloo not too committed to chasing him down. DD coming from his right. His angle is kind of going to prevent him from spotting that, seeing it at all. There's the wide peak. There's the frag. FNS back in the B bomb site is safe. It's really starting to pile up, though, on the C9 guys.
Yeah, it is. Simple as that. It's gone past that point of, like, they'll snap out of it. It's time to turn around. The money's getting extremely strong for Tyloo. They're looking comfortable. The hits they're going for are working. Individuals are kind of being called out here as well on Cloud9's side. They're just not having those moments. The shots aren't coming out. So this looks worrying. Of course, it can change on the half. You just want those buffer rounds. We've seen it so many times. 3 rounds can be enough to kind of be that swing point.
Well,
it's
that's
simple as that.
I mean, that's how the story kind of changes, right? A few rounds ago, you could say Cloud9 still has a chance to recover and put together a pretty decent half. Now it's like, all right, Cloud9, now you're playing for your 5 rounds. You're playing, you know, for that opportunity of winning the pistol and getting your own reset going on. So a little bit of a hole for C9, or a big hole for them to dig themselves out of.
No one wants that.
Especially because Tyloo, I mean, this isn't that normal puggy, hectic, crazy style that we normally see. This is planned execution. This is cold and tactical.
It's slow. There's a real kind of air of pace to it. They're not in any hurry. They're feeling good about this. They're dictating the pace on the T side. I'm liking what they're doing. This is good so far. I don't know how much this can be consistent. If we've got another team that certainly could be a contender now, if it does translate into the best of 3s, if that's SK game, you're always going to say it's going to be somewhat of a bit of a, you know, mark on the record rather than something you're going to expect to see on a regular basis. But they can repeat that sort of effect here. That's 2 very big names they've just got under their belt. Now, Tarek plays the timing so well. Gets on the back of that flash, pushes down. They know this could be the B here, but look what they've got to work with. Very little. DD is so aware, though. Turns around, catches 2 out. And that's the awareness done. But they're still going to go for this B hit. That could be a potential problem. Automatic is here. The Molotovs are kind of keeping them at bay. Skadoodle wins out in middle. Again, they're pulling them left, right, and center. 25 seconds. And the bomb's going for a walk up middle. Skadoodle, is he going to play the timing right? Can he get anything else out of this? He's going to do what he can. Gets himself a gun. Wasn't heard. And that's big. Now down to the 2v2. We've got 1 player towards Banana, 1 planting on A. What a very confusing and messy round now.
Yeah, this is a little bit weird, and somebody's got the tough decision to make. How quick does he go for this flank? How quick does he try and get over to this bomb site to help his teammate out? And he does it way too haphazardly, not checking his corners. Skadoodle has just played a masterclass on this flank, and it's all down to Bentet. We've seen what he can do in 5-on-5s when he's opening rounds. Now he's got to clutch one out.
I love how active he's being, though. He's not just sat kind of being the static position on the site. He's looking for it. He gets 1, and now this gets fun, though. How does FNS play this? Not at the biggest game yet, but he does have the armor. Skadoodle didn't, and managed 3 kills. Plays for the time. It's perfect from Bentet, though. Not going to let that slip, and FNS just kind of sat there catching that flash all day long.
That's so beautiful. Positions himself to wrap around that A bomb site through brackets. He planted the bomb default, so he wanted to get into position to be able to use that. Pushing towards the library, you obviously can't stop any of the defuse, but finding the equalizer from the flanker coming down Banana, read that play coming, and then puts himself in such a good position. The flashbang is perfect, and Cloud9 outplayed again. Finally, at round 10, we have a solid buy from Cloud9. 2 kits. We've got Molotovs on the board. We've got a double up setup, and already Cloud9 is in desperation mode.
This is a huge round. If Tyloo win this as well, that pushes Cloud9 all the way back, and it doesn't just come down to that utility, it comes down to the bigger question. Now, if Cloud9 stabilize, there is recovery rounds available, of course, and that does give you the window into the second half. High flash towards Banana, keeps him on their toes. Automatic pushed off the angle, but he goes back in for it. Mo gets punished for that. Not going to get away with it. Automatic, though, still not fully backing away either. He's going to see if he can keep this under control.
That's a great opening pick, and perhaps the first time in this half that we've seen Cloud9 deny Banana control over to Tyloo. What's the plan from here? Bentet, he's up next. Molotov to force the op away. Not aware FNS is still going to be there, but he wins the fight. FNS gets the dink, continues the spray, but can't connect anything else. And he's really going to start being frustrated. That's a kill he should have had, and that could come back to haunt them. You mentioned it. This is an immensely important round for Cloud9 to get started. Somebody waiting behind the smoke.
Me. Every time you do with a bit of pacing, I'm like, oh.
You've been trying to slip that one in, haven't you?
Story of my life. 4v4. Double AWP still into play. Gonna keep this one a little bit trickier. But again, Tyloo are being really tricky to lock down. The presence that they're going to bring in from both sides are keeping them guessing, keeping them on toes as smokes go up. Is this the full commitment? We're going to find out. It looks like it is. Only 20 seconds. They kind of have to go. We do have players here, however. They're going to make it tricky. Tarek's there. So's 1 more, and the timing is right for that. Well, it's more automatic keeping this together than it was. Tarek, DD! What a shot! Automatic gets outdone. Bomb plot needs to be now, and it will be. They're going to have that. It's a 2v2. AWP on the retake, never exactly what you want, but Skadoodle has that power. He can be so deadly. He's got to be right now.
There's a Molotov as well on the board for Tyloo, and Skadoodle, he's got to find DD to his right. That's going to be a tough angle to clear out, especially for the AWP. Got to rely on Rush to try and make something happen. Flashbang in to allow his teammate to move forward towards the bomb site, and Skadoodle, He's going to go for the jump, going to go for the movement, but an immediate headshot. Rush now is the last one left and the last one to die. And it's Cloud9 again getting stumped. Tyloo just repeatedly punishing this defense.
Yeah, this was... It looked like maybe Automatic had this. It looked like he was going to stabilize this.
That's
and then
such a dirty peek.
It was filth.
Just a nice little slide in.
Oof.
The
And,
power slide, we call that.
Is that the move?
I think we're going to trademark it.
Oh. Right, just you and DD.
Get my, yeah, me and DD. Well, I'm obviously going to reap the monetary benefits.
Oh, okay. He's just like a brand ambassador.
Yes. That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, I rip off people professionally, so I mean, I'm here for that. But you can see what this has done for the money for Cloud9. We discussed the fact that when you have those Molotovs and you have the double orbs, it's a big investment. Of course, that's not surprising, but it's more the fact that that's where you're meant to make those big fights happen. You can swing it around and maybe get the last couple of, CT side rounds that are meant to be yours. But unable to do so, it does put you down to the CZs. You've got very limited funds. They've been sparing to a degree. They've got a couple of smokes up, bit of armor. CZ still very good, but we haven't seen Tyloo fall foul to this yet.
This is a scary Tyloo team. This is like the Tyloo team that, people were talking about for the past 2 years if they could get to this point. You've got some of the crazy skill and very nice aim from the Tyloo players, and now you seemingly have some structure around them as well. Structure within which they can thrive. Being very smart and calculated. DD's going to lead the way up mid. There's a stack here for C9. Another good opportunity for him to turn this around. Good opening kill for School. There's DD chiming in. He spins around but can't find the follow-up kill. More pressure from the op, and yeah, this one makes you feel uneasy. Going to try and back away. Rush just pulls him right out of his jockstrap and finds the headshot. Now it's somebody coming out of halls. Going to try and recover that bomb, but Tarek hears all of this.
He's got to hold his nerve. He's got to be steely in the way he approaches. Good work with the CZ left with very minimal amounts in the clip, and that means that Bentek can do this. 13 seconds, and Automatic isn't close by. He does pick up a rifle, however, but he has no armor. Bentek down to 67, still has a flash, and he can position where he wants. He knows he's got a little bit of time. Not too much now. He doesn't know exactly where Automatic's coming from. He knows he's been playing B. He can keep that in mind. He's just going to pick a corner and stick it out. Now, Automatic, no armor, no kit. Keeping it silent though, Bentek sees a little bit of leg, and that's more than enough. Automatic, great work from him. Of course, had to be quick in that. There wasn't time to second guess. He had to stick to it, and he does it very well. Clock quite close, but he does have the defuse.
That's tough for Bentek. Obviously, moving up and down the little blocks of hay is tough for Bentek to find the connection.
Jason, I've heard news from SK.
Yes, they've been eliminated, I believe.
What is going on?
Yeah, the world seems upside down.
It really does.
Yeah, commiserations to SK. This is probably the toughest spot they've been in since early 2015.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't recall.
Or I guess it would be late 2015, right after San Jose when they made the roster changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is dire times for that squad. So congratulations to Greyhound, obviously. Big upset
phenomenal
for them. That's going to be great. That's something they can hang their hat on. They can be very, very proud about. Either way, Cloud9 similarly trying to avoid what would be termed an upset, although with the way Tyloo's been playing, maybe not as big of an upset, maybe not as big of a mismatch as we initially thought on paper. Bentek's been stellar. Molotov going to force him out, but the cover of the smoke is going to allow him to get away. FNS still on the hunt, though, brings him down to 2, and he'll complete that kill. Tough part is getting away, but a timely smoke towards the base of Banana is going to allow him some space and freedom.
Captain Mo not feeling fully into challenging that. He was down to 10 HP anyway, so I mean, he's got to be a bit careful, a bit cautious on that. But for now, we do sit at 9-2 still. Curious if they can make something count. First time we've seen Cloud9 really dominating over by that B. Banana control, actually putting a player there, easing someone like Automatic to be able to rotate. Skadoodle playing out of quad as well. Here on the other side, slowly playing around. The Shadow gives away the game, and Skadoodle doesn't need help in shots like that. And the bomb, dire position, just kind of lines him up. Oh, the timing. Oh, God, the timing. This is awkward as hell. Back away. Pretend we didn't see it.
Look at FNS. Going for more. Get some stats padded up. Start to feel a little bit better. Now Cloud9 getting into it. Now they can build upon this towards the end of the half. 3 rounds for them. Still plenty of money on the Tyloo side. Starting to be depleted, though, as you can see these buys coming out. This could be the last buy they have, depending on if the plant comes in, depending on how aggressive they want to be down the stretch. Round 13 coming live. Tyloo up by 6.
Yeah, this is still a very nice T-side. Even if Cloud9 closed the rest, very nice T-side from Tyloo, considering, as you highlighted, we thought this might be a mismatch.
It's been a good looking T-side as well.
It has an aggression coming out from the CTs. Taric and Rush going walkabouts. See, Extra on the other side, receiving a hell of a lot of damage here, and the timing could be uncomfortable, and it is. Punished. Rush and Taric, they tried to make the most of it, and now they've left Skadoodle very much alone, feeling isolated, and now somewhat surrounded, but he's going to have to fight his way out of this!
Oh!
And there's your classic Skadoodle if you missed it. Turns around, destroys DD. He's going to be asked for some more, but he can't deliver that one. Bit too far, bit too much. Already a bit of a hero performance there, but FNS up to the fight, up to the challenge. Shot to the back. Follow-up not going to come through, though. This is still a 2v1. I thought that was a bit of a job done there.
Now, I mean, Skadoodle did a great job of at least giving an opportunity to just claw back into this round. Now, Automatic with a chance. He's going to be close up, and I don't know if they're going to expect him. Can't swap out his guns, because that'll make the noise, but so will the scope. And it seems like Benton has repositioned due to hearing that. And this is a really tough crossfire to deal with. Smoked to try and isolate the player in pit. He's actually going to jump right into it. He's going to go for Bentet inside the site, but he's outpositioned again by Bentet. Reads the play, wins the round, 10-3 for Tyloo. That was a very slow push down mid as well. 2 players just kind of waltzing down there. Thought the double nade would kind of give up the game. Signal that mid hit, but if they were faster paced, they might have been able to get at least 1 free kill. Either way, DD's able to pinch one off and take a distract Rush long enough for him to go down as well. 14th round in the bye coming out from Cloud9 is not the prettiest. Skadoodle with an AWP but no armor. UMP on FNS just so he can have what minimal utility he can, and no kits on the defense.
Build towards B. Still having somebody lurking towards the bottom mid, taking his time, just ensuring that no one's going walkabouts, which we've seen Cloud9 enjoy doing, mostly to their own detriment, but for now, stay alive. This is a very all-in play from Tyloo. They haven't got that, DD lurking, for example, that we've seen before. This looks like it's going to be that B hit, unless they're going to take a big risk and just directly walking right back around towards A.
This is so cool, though. Tyloo can just bully the hell out of Cloud9 here. They can just throw their utility, make Cloud9 feel the pressure, feel the nerves, bait out some utility, and just re-execute, at will. They have plenty of nades to do whatever they want. And you can see Automatic even coming through the smoke just to get some information. They've done a good job of holding on to what little bit they have. 2 Molotovs on Automatic and FNS, and here's the counter one. The first one goes on the ground, flashbang in the air. Tyloo not committing all the way. They're waiting for the flames. They have the smoke up, but 3 players here from Cloud9. This is going to be a tough battle, and actually the boost is forced away. Automatic comes through. He's got a double and a dink onto the 3rd, but he runs out of bullets. FNS and Skadoodle blocked off by the smoke, but Automatic has done so much work, and the spam not coming through, and now they're challenging, and now they're going down, and that might be over-aggressive from C9. Teammates not quite here yet, and the AWP has plenty of ground to come to effect, but Rush out-duels him.
Mo back to the wall, tucked in by Dark. You've got Molotov's flash, nade, smoke, everything you want if you're Cloud9. The flash is good. I'm pretty sure Taric has caught a glimpse, but this is a nice play from Mo. Good attempt. You've got to kind of play your way out of it once you've been spotted, but Taric handles it well. The defuse does seem as though it will be in play for Cloud9. Got to say there again, it felt like Automatic. The play through the smoke was perfect. The flash was good. 2 players completely blind, and he dinked up the 3rd.
I'm wondering if he knew that he only had like 1 bullet left, because he really took his time with that one last shot, didn't he? This is great. So many players blind, and even the edge of that smoke helping out in a big, big way. Yeah, that final dink just couldn't complete it onto Bentet. 10-4.
That little spray.
Mac 10's out. Mac 10 on the field of play, Lauren. 15th round.
Are you a big fan of the Mac 10?
I am.
Yeah?
Got to get more Vegas strats, Vegas Squadron stats.
Oh, yeah?
The Mac 10 rush towards Banana.
It's a big move.
It's a thing of beauty.
It's a big play.
That's great.
Well, I'm not against creativity. You have seen Cloud9 now pull back the remaining rounds that do give you that window of decent opportune moment. If you get that pistol under your belt, you're right back at the door. So
yeah, I mean, we mentioned they were on that point where they're fighting for 5, right?
Yep. Automatic steadies himself. He's the only man here. You could see FNS backing away from this. He is coming back around. Automatic takes a bit of a wild shot here. Falls away. Not quick enough to capitalize. Tyloo hit the brakes just slightly. temper the pace before they actually go for the hit. Smoke's being lined up now. 3 out of the 4. The 4th might get deployed now. Good flash, though, going to force him off the angle. FNS completely blind as well. This is a lot of flashes coming out. That Mac-10 actually does get the kill. Somebody towards automatic, and now FNS, the smoke towards coffins, if they meant it to do that, was pretty darn good. But, I mean, still, Bentet denies any playback in, and this is a lockout.
Yeah, Mac-10 does exactly what it's designed for. Just get blind with all the flashes. We're just going to keep bombing them over, and at some point, when you come to, you're mobile enough to take out that first player, and that's all we need. Tyloo going to get up to 11. As these final kills come through, somebody with the Molotov at his feet. But this caps off a phenomenal and surprising half for Tyloo. You could say Cloud9 started out slow, and they did, but they never recovered. It seemed like they had a possibility for it, but just kept getting battered back. We're going to head to a break, and we'll see if Cloud9 can recover when we return.
It has been a shocking turn of events here already at IEM Sydney. What a surprising day we've had, from jet lag to incredible results to incredible losses. And now this.
Renegades on the stage, maybe Greyhound, SK's gone, FaZe losing another Inferno overtime third map. All crazy things.
Yeah, it's a little upside down. Australia.
Yeah, I was gonna say so many things were back. I was gonna go for that as well.
Yeah.
You beat me.
Real
to it.
low-hanging fruit.
It is the really low.
We're not funny,
but
like
no, we're not. To each other, maybe.
That's all that matters, Jason. But yeah, if you are just tuning in, do check on the results thus far. It's been an actual wild day. It's not something you expect to be seeing. Obviously, there's always potential for upsets, and we always kind of discuss that. We're like, you know, you don't want to write any team off, but normally we all know that it's with a pinch of salt we say these things. But thus far, very surprising.
Well, it's one thing to do it in a best of one, right? Tyloo
Yeah.
upsetting SK, but losing that BO3. Either way, the game we have at hand here, Tyloo on the verge of having at least another very good one-map performance, as they have a big lead, 11-4 over Cloud9 after the first half on Inferno. They did that from the T side as well, and Bentet was stellar. 18-5, 110 ADR. He was opening rounds, he was clutching rounds. This guy's got top-tier game sense. He is an incredible performer for this team. And he's having a huge impact here early on. Now it's all about closing it out, and you want to do this quick if you're Tyloo. You don't want to give Cloud9 any glimpse of hope of making this comeback happen. 3 players stacked up towards the B bomb site on the defense. 2 players pushed out, somebody in Bentet playing right at the top, and they've got Captain Mo with counter flashes ready to go at the coffins.
Good rhyme.
I actually didn't even intend that. That's how good I am.
Gifted human being. Tarek. Decapitated. Just walks on in. It's just like, just slapped to the side. Rush. Next up, possibly in apartments. DD's there. He's watching towards quad for now. I guess he does have a player towards site. Peeks on in. And again, there we go. It's the massacre that's happening. Somebody... What? What is this? Just get North American, apparently, Cloud9. These guys are doing it more than you. What was that charge?
Tyloo's like rank S-ing better than anyone I've ever seen before. That's beautiful. Yeah, I don't think automatic. He was like waiting for that play on the other side, right? But
yeah.
He wasn't expecting the full-blown bull rush.
It wasn't even like slow, there's no underhand flash. It was just like, I'm off.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we're up 5-3. I can just get one and die, so I'll just go as fast as humanly possible. It works out.
It does. Team ace as well. They got every single player got a kill. Tyloo, 12-4. Kind of shutting that window that Cloud9 just kind of cracked open a little bit. They're looking at the outside world, thinking maybe there's hope for us here. No, not yet. CZs galore, 0 utility, but automatic has that deagle, and that is worth its weight in gold. He's going to have to follow it up, though. There's a player in towards Cubby, that being DD. Shot to the back. He's keeping them at bay, doing the best he can. But they are going to overwhelm him. Good work from Cloud9 using those numbers. And apparently those CZs.
Yeah, misplay from Tyloo as well. Obviously, the pickoff from automatic is great. But from there, never able to double up. Not able to get that crossfire going in mid from Cubby and towards lane. 1 by 1. As DD gets taken out, his teammate tries to turn the corner, and they're pretty much out of this round. Take some of the guns away at the end if you can. Somebody thinked up, but does find Tarek. Now going to fall back. Tyloo have such a big lead as well. This is where it comes into that point. Oh, the drop damage doesn't quite finish him off, but FNS wants to find that kill. This is where it gets quite interesting for Tyloo. Obviously, it stings to win pistol and lose the second round in this way, and you're going to want to kind of come right back in it and try and respond immediately. But with that 12-4 lead, you can always play the economic game. You don't want to be in that same situation as Cloud9. Remember, it took 10 rounds. It was the 10th round of the first half where Cloud9 finally got their full buy on the board, and you cannot have that happen if you're Tyloo.
No, there's no room for that.
But you are opening the door to the possibility.
Ooh. Okay.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Madness has set in, if you haven't noticed. Just gonna put it out there. But it's a good kind of thing. It kind of suits what we're seeing today, I feel. It's one of those things where it's like Alice in Wonderland. We're just down the rabbit hole. We're accepting it now. You know, all the best people are mad. Or so I've heard. Now, Bentet, up and ready for the fight. We do have Cloud9 being... Oh, cautious is the wrong word, but you've got to be a little bit careful. We saw what's happened in the previous games where you get a little complacent and it spirals again out of your control. And Cloud9 can't afford to do that here.
Can't afford to get caught off guard by any kind of aggression either. Playing so far back on the map. They do have banana control, and now they have Hall's control. Tyloo with 4 smokes on the board still and holding on to him until they feel the pressure. So at some point, Cloud9, if you're a C9 fan, you're gonna hope that they're applying pressure to force some of those nades out. Here's a pop flash. One player turned from it. He's gonna go down, and Tarek now, he's gotta back away. He's the only one here in that smoke. That is a nice mid-round play from Tyloo. A 3-man push, and the third player now rotating back towards A. He'll be doubled up on Rap side, and Cloud9 still can't move forward. They hadn't been grouped up to take advantage of the manpower that Tyloo placed at the B bomb site, and now they have to wait for the smoke to fade if they want to make a play on this Rap side.
There's a lot of players here now. This is the thing. Tyloo still outgunned, but so not outnumbered. That is impressive work with the CZ coming out of the library. That's 2 kills swiftly put into the bag, into the pockets, and this is looking dire. There it is, shut out, shut down. Tyloo get to 13. And Cloud9 get put right back down in the dirt. You felt that that was the building moment. They had that chance, but that playback in on Banana really spiraled it.
And this is what we hadn't seen from Tyloo for years, is look at the way they used the utility. The pop flash towards the B bomb site to get that first kill. The smoke to deny Tarek any kind of retaliation. And then falling back towards Rap side when they see the hit coming. Instead of just peeking and trying to take a 50-50 battle, they wait for the pop flash from a teammate through arches, and that allows a peek from Library and eventually a double kill. They weren't too blind, but it does distract a couple players. But just that patience, that presence of mind to call for it. And look at the buy from Cloud9 here. They are really, really feeling the pressure. 3 AKs, a CZ, a P250, but no nades. They just have to take fights. They just have to take duels and hope they can win them. And at the moment, it's not happening. FNS naded out of the round very early on.
And that was one of the rifles. That's a huge loss as well. Not what you want to be seeing from that. Not able to be recovered yet either. Rush and or Tarek haven't been able to get a hand to it. Xcurate could be falling back towards the deeper side of CT Arch. He's got the information. He's made that contact. Doesn't need to do much more. Mo can prepare himself, but you don't want to overcommit to this. There's still a lot of time on the board. You do have Bentet pushed a little forward on Banana, so he's your safety net. You better be ready for what's coming up his way if they do make this adjustment.
You can see him turn for flashbangs. He obviously doesn't know, but the nice thing is he doesn't actually have to worry about them. Well, he does, but he doesn't realize that quite yet. His entire goal is find some information, then back away. Might take a few shots for this first player, but the timing is going to be critical. He spots the shoulder, spraying as he falls. Cloud9 not going to press the issue. Job done for C9 over towards B. They've kept the B defense honest, and now Automatic walking his way up, finds somebody. Backing away into the cubby, and now the hit towards the A bomb site is on. Xcurate is still committing towards the B bomb site. It's double up and pit. Captain Mo's got to do work. Excuse me, one player's in the site, and DD's taken down from behind, but it's still working. Automatic left all alone in a 1 versus 3. And Captain Mo perhaps going down a bit early, but 20 seconds on the clock. Automatic has to get that bomb. And Xcurate might be in position to stop him from getting back into the site, but he's waiting for Bentet. Smart play.
You don't want to risk this. Automatic, 3 kills already. A talented player spots out one possible victim. Insta-turns! You could see the cogs just turning in his brain. He was getting there, but unable to shut down in the end. Tyloo, 1 step closer. This is a best of 3, so I'm not going to believe it just yet, but this is a very dominant start for Tyloo.
Yeah, they're putting everyone on notice here. This is 2 very good maps they've put together in this tournament so far.
Yeah.
14-5 lead over Cloud9, and this is a C9 that's just saying, you know, bye till we win. More upgraded pistols, CZs on FNS and Tarek for full utility, UMP on Rush. Skadoodle gonna have the automatic pistol as well, and automatic the only AK-47, the only rifle on the board for C9. So they try and extend this game on the offensive side of things. See Automatic leading the way. They want to rely on him to provide some kind of a pick. Not happening quite yet.
Apartments. Plenty of players there. Automatic as well, working his way up towards the top of the middle. You do have Extra again, tucked in towards the cubby on CT Arch. Does have the support from somebody. And the flash comes in. Great work from Automatic. This guy, he's warming up at least, but where's the rest of his team? At least this time it's working out. Mo can't quite get it done, and it's a 1v3. And to be fair, Bentet has been good, but hard to play back in, no utility. Already Automatic pushing forward to a very tricky position to dig your way out of. And I feel as though Bentet knows this one is probably out of reach.
Tyloo played that one a little bit too loose. I think it was somebody rotating back from the B bomb site that was making plenty of noise. Allowed Automatic to get the read on his rotation and not able to pair up a peek with his teammate in the cubby. Good win from Bentet as he backs away. Money's still not great for this CT side, so likely this might be the only rifle they have in the next round. But if you're Tyloo, you should never be allowing Automatic to get a double kill and open up that entire Rap side with no usage of utility. Just finds both kills. That'll be the 6th for C9. As they keep the dream alive.
Face of a team, feeling that. It's a long road back.
What can you say about this one? Yeah, this is too much. That's somebody getting picked off. Xcurate needed to make that peak a little bit earlier. Needed to be aggressive there. And it's all you can kind of do, especially when you have a teammate. No reason to not be aggressive. Obviously just waiting, and he's just waiting for death, essentially. Investment again from Tyloo. Maybe confidence from winning one of these rounds earlier with the CZs in the utility. This time they have an AK and a FAMAS on board. There goes Captain Mo. Only one shot with the Deagle before Automatic takes him out. He's been pretty solid for Cloud9.
Yeah, he's really warming in now.
18 kills for him.
Pretty darn good considering they only have 6 rounds to their name. He's been trying to make headway. Curious how that kill sort of stacks up with the rest of the team right now. Haven't seen the scoreboard yet, but we can have a little look in on that maybe the next round. See how that's kind of going with the others. Obviously, Rush not having the biggest performance here. Smoke being lined up, pop down. Cloud9 need to just get rounds on the board. It's as simple as that. Just keep grinding through it. You have 14 rounds against you. It's a big number to overcome. Molotovs go in. They're being quite methodical. We know that somebody will go for a walk through this smoke if you're not careful. Maybe a little more brazen than most.
Well, look at Tyloo. They've both rifles gambled over towards that B bomb site, so obviously just kind of hanging their hat on the defense being there. FNS is going to go down. There goes DD, so the A bomb site is opened up. Cloud9 just going to continue forward, and I think Tyloo is going to make the save call early and just say everyone, or by everyone, I mean the only 2 players left alive. Stick at B and work together to keep the guns in their hands. Cloud9 being very vigilant and clearing out all the corners, but they will be able to get their 7th, and now the pressure should abate a little bit in the sense that there's probably, I don't think they're going to hunt these guns down. I don't think they're going to go for too much of a chase. But Tyloo shouldn't be buying around these 2 rifles in the next round. They need to save up. They need to get the ops out. They need to get the Molotovs in their hands. Just needing 2 rounds left.
Hopefully we can have a little check in on that scoreboard and have a little glimpse overall how this has been going down. Once this is out of the way, Bentet waiting very patiently by the top of Banana as well, just not giving away anything. Got to be steady. Got to keep control of those guns. See if they can make some impact in the upcoming rounds. Obviously, as you said, investing around it, probably not the best of ideas. Curious what the money's going to be like in just a moment's time. Bentet just runs into a corner and waits it out. So Tyloo will be able to keep hold of the guns that they had, or at least the 2 remaining members. However, we've got a real deficit for money for Tyloo here, but they aren't in a hurry. They do have rounds to play with, so yeah, that's the thing to keep in mind.
Rounds to play with as the losing bonus builds up. Scoodle's got the op in his hand now. We've got some dance music. Yeah. I hope the audience can hear this as well.
It's
that's
just
super
you.
awkward.
Just what music? Didn't hear anything.
Kicked in way faster than I thought. Here we are, round 22.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what we've got here. As I said, the only 2 players to really be worried about are Bentet and Xcure. They're looking to try and make some plays happen, trying to show a bit of presence early, maybe trying to ward Cloud9 away from going towards B, showing presence with that gun, and then kind of sending the additional man, Xcure, back over towards, I'm guessing, CT Archie indeed. They're actually completely walking out of B, so this is a nice play from Tyloo. You can see the intention.
Well, we've seen them find ways to make plays in the mid round when Cloud9 has some kind of map control of being able to do a pop flash and maybe fight for it to get it back. Cloud9 didn't like that pressure. They didn't like the sound of that USP through the smoke, and they've gone to the other bomb site. And however they read that, it's a perfect call.
Yeah, very nice.
Maybe saying like, okay, if someone's gonna just spam a USP through the smoke, they obviously want us to attack here. Let's not do that.
It wasn't too subtle from Tyloo. I love the initial idea. I like them showing presence with the rifle on Banana and then being like, all right, let's just pull rotations over towards A, but kind of playing themselves a little on that one, and I doubt Tyloo are going to get much out of this now.
Tough part is against the T side as well. It's not always the easiest style to kind of play that grind down the economy, right? Like you can't, especially on the CT side, if you're continually losing but getting kills, it's not as solid. It's not as great, so that's got to be worrying. See if they buy in the next round. I think they will. And we should start seeing more standard rounds come out from the defense, less gambling towards each one of the bomb sites. These past few rounds have not been the most action-packed. They've been kind of chess games, a little bit of a tactical battle going on as Tyloo tries to catch them in a trap, tries to lure Cloud9 into the bomb site that they're stacking, and it hasn't worked out. So here come the rifles, the UMP on somebody. The utility is going to be out for Tyloo as well, so they can stand their ground pretty much standard.
kind of need this too. We saw the difference they can make for Cloud9. We were waiting for that round where they had that full utility. Now we can say the same for Tyloo. They actually have enough to, vie for that actual banana control. Put players where they want to. They don't have to go for those over-rotations to kind of make up for the deficits. Looking at Cloud9, we still have Skadul on that AWP. He could be a big, big factor here for them.
Yeah, it really could be. There's a good amount of money built up on Cloud9 as well. They have a buffer round or two, and what's become standard for this defense, we've seen it most rounds, where Tyloo's had a fighting chance, is a triple banana early on. Ben10 actually roasting some marshmallows down to 60 HP.
That's what you call them.
Yeah.
Not worth it really for him, considering he's your headliner. You don't want him to be a little more wounded, but yeah, somebody left vigilant on banana.
With a UMP, I think it's got to be just because he has the smoke, right? If he feels the pressure, he can just drop it and fall back safely into the bomb site, allow time for Ben10 to get back. But if Cloud9 was to put a big force there, it could be dangerous. They're staying pretty grouped up. One player watching for a pushdown banana, and they've taken control of brackets.
Not much more than this though. Cloud9 are being quite slow about this one. They're not being as, I guess, active early on in these rounds. They haven't quite been as quick to act. Taking their time here. Presence shown again on Qudos B. Somebody going to fall away from this and maybe feeling the pressure, making the call. Get a player to help him out, maybe support on the cross, but they're not chasing it. Cloud9 look a little lost here. The bomb's down in mid, and we don't have like a big hit coming in.
They've done fine. They need to make a decision right now, obviously, 20 seconds. They're going to go back towards A, but look what they've done. That forcing back somebody pulls a third player over towards the B bomb site, and that is a dirty opening, automatic. He's going to find, no, he's not. Skadul's going to get it, but he's pretty much eliminated Tyloo from having a chance in this round. Running down the clock, Cloud9 pulls Tyloo out of position, and another easy round down the stretch for this Cloud9 offense, and they're just about within striking distance. This is going to start getting very dangerous for a Tyloo team that had a very solid first half, haven't been able to put it together on their defense. And now with all the money that Cloud9 has built up, they can try and take these weapons away. They can try and make the next few rounds easier on themselves as they're on the hunt.
Yeah, Finesse is the one walking his way up banana. All the players pretty much around ruins right now for Tyloo. Trying to create that kind of mini crossfire that they can set up and try and deny anyone taking these guns away. Tarek could be the first to walk into the trap. With FNS coming around at the same time, and actually they lose out on 2. That's really big work.
That's great. Nicely done from Cloud9. Just the 2 at the end is huge. Because you could see a world in which I think there was enough for a drop over if Tyloo was able to keep all 3 of those. They could have dropped another rifle or at least the SMGs and had another solid buy. Instead, it's going to be like a half investment into this. Everyone kind of spending about 2K to get the CZ, the armor, and some light utility. Ben10 has a kit that he can work with. The Cloud9 clawing themselves back into this.
Yeah, this is good from Cloud9. They look resilient. They look like a team that we didn't see on that first half at all.
We said a slow start, perhaps slower than even we expected.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, it's just been seeing the wake-up call for Automatic and what impact he's been really starting to have it too. Mo could get the timing right here, or completely wrong, and Rush gets the kill. There it is. Spins. Okay. Spins around, gets it done, and this is 2 big losses there.
Yeah, not like this. I mean, remember, Cloud9 lost one of these rounds earlier as well to the CZs, and look at this play from Captain Mo. This is a big boy play, 4 HP. He's gone on information gathering. He's going to have the most epic of all flanks if possible, if the timing is right. Good pick from Skadul. Actually, only 1 defender inside the A bomb site. That X-Curate. So this flank has to yield some results, and I think he's going to hear these footsteps from Tarek. He'll be able to call it out. We should start seeing a dot start rotating from the B bomb site. It's not happening yet. Now the call is going to be coming, tapping away. He finds that kill, but low HP. Tarek grabs him through the wall, and that's critical. X-Curate's got to get into the bomb site. He's got to be able to delay. His teammates just now pushing towards the base of Banana.
Let's see what he can achieve out of this one. He has to play this just right. Good work. That's the bomb carrier down, so that will buy you a bit of time. You can see Tarek already considering that off-part position, looking for the opponent, but it's somebody to get real quick round there and get the job done. So stemming the bleed, and as you said, and as you highlighted and pointed out, that big flank coming in, the big boy play, really paid off for them.
It did. I'm surprised somebody even got to the A bomb site that quick. I thought Tarek would have a little bit more time, and it feels like maybe he did too as well. 15-9, Cloud9. Sorry about that. Gonna have to really work for this one. Still have money. We mentioned they built up those buffers, but look at the purchase coming in from Tyloo. Winning a round like that just immediately catapults your economy. A lot of money built up on 3 players. A solid buy. They've got everything in Cloud9. Automatic's gonna have to do more. 20 and 18, and yeah, he's really leading the way. This is a pretty big carry for Automatic, trying to pull his team. I mean, it's almost like his performance is just buying time for Cloud9 to kind of get out of this slump, and it hasn't happened in the way he'd like. Rush is normally a pretty reliable player to be getting his. He's having a quiet game, 6 and 15. FNS had a very slow start on the defense. And even though guys like Tarek and Skiddle have had some good rounds, it hasn't been nearly consistent enough, but there's a good opening from Ska. Look at all the nades that Tyloo used. I didn't even see where they all came out. I was focused on the scoreboard, but I mean, they have 3 flashes, an HE, and a smoke, and that's at about 1 minute and 15 seconds in the round, so they've really misused some of their utility.
Has been a little bit, I guess, overplaced and underappreciated. Gotta kind of keep hold of that one. Can make a big difference there, of course. And the attention turns towards B, as does the bomb and the rest of the Cloud9 players. The hit comes in, somebody playing on the edge of that smoke. The flash forcing him off, the Molotov is there, the smoke is up. It's all very nice. He actually plays it back in well. He's buying a bit of time, but not enough to really hinder much here. Cloud9 should still be in the good. This guy can be deadly, but again, individual plays here, very, very much situational at best, as Automatic shows him how it's done. DD goes down, and we are down to 2 now for Tyloo.
Nice job from Tarek, really applying pressure, being aggressive, and kind of scouting out that B bomb site, even without a kill. Allows Skadoodle to get the trade, and Captain Mo is going to have to try and save this weapon. Not against Automatic. He's not missing shots at the moment. Ben Tent is nearby, and he's got a kit, and surely there's no way this happens. To close the game, he's sticking around, see if he can get something.
There's one on
something
site.
From nothing, and
No,
Rush
no,
doesn't
no, no,
see
no,
him.
Rush. Are you kidding me right now? Oh my god, the timing on this. We have 1 player on Banana. That will be Skadoodle. He should be able to stop this. Let's look at his perspective. He does. That got a little bit uncomfortable.
If he misses that shot, though, I mean, it is a pretty easy
There's
shot.
a world where it happens,
you know,
though.
If, Lauren. If.
Don't say it.
15 to 10. I'm amazed that Cloud9, I mean, you know, you can rightly criticize the way they started this game, but fair play, props for them for still sticking in this and being able to bring it back to even this close of a margin.
Yep.
They're still within striking distance. A reset here would be huge. It'd be a double save territory for Tyloo. That could get him up towards 13.
You're doing maths on air here, Jason.
It's late, it's jet lagged, and I'm still performing at a really high level. You're welcome. Tarek with the opening kill, and Ben Tet now with a double spray down. And that's actually a pretty early warning call. The Excurate has the AWP, so that smoke is really going to hinder him. And he's not even going to go for the lucky shot. He's trying to gain position in ruins out towards construction, and it's not going to happen fast enough.
No, trying to go for the spam through the glass, but no one's going to be called off by that. Automatic, a deadly player to come up against, but DD wins that fight. That's actually pretty imperative. It's a 3v2 retake, but Skadoodle and Rush both have Molotovs. They have time to be bought here, but the hit's going to be coming in now.
Here we go. Missed shot from Skadoodle. Poor timing for it. No, there's 1 kit on Captain Mo, and that's it.
God.
They've sealed it. They've made it happen. Capped off by a phenomenal retake, and I think it's even the 10-second defuse. They don't even care. He's going for it. Captain Mo wants on the bomb, but not going to give it up. That's going to be the map 1 victory for Tyloo, closing out a very good first half. They had to fight for it in the second, but Cloud9 way too slow of a start in this one. We're going to head to a break, and when we return, Cloud9 going to try and even things up at 1-1, so stay tuned for the desk.